Cricket, the biggest sport in India and a massive sport here in Australia as well. And I've just come from watching the most viewed test match that has been played on Australian soil, the Boxing Day test match in 2024, Australia v India. And it was a crazy game. I actually went on day one on 26th, and I also went today, which is the 30th, day 5. And it was a thrilling win for Australia. And this game really made me realize a few things. You see, there's two things I want to talk about this game. The first being the fact that this game was completely like a roller coaster. There were times when people thought that, hey, Australia is on top, Australia is definitely going to win. And then they bounced back, and then India bounced back, and then people like, hey, India is going to definitely win. There was this incredible roller coaster, which reminded me a lot about life, where there are these moments, basically in cricket, you have these sessions, you play in sessions, and then you take a break, and then you come back and you play again. And as soon as you start to win a few sessions, you start to think, hey, the game is mine. And I view each session as almost a small battle in a bigger war. And something that this game taught me watching it for the last few days is that you never want to let one battle dictate your entire strategy, momentum, mindset, and mood to win the entire war. Because I saw this happen. I saw this happen for India, where things were going really great, and hey, they got a little bit too complacent. And those were the opportunities that Australia got to, get in there and turn it around. And from Australia's point of view, it sort of shows when things aren't going too great, right? All you have to do is hang in there. You don't have to do something special. You don't have to win the game, the war. You don't have to take a massive risk. You just need to give yourself a chance by staying in the game. And that is exactly what Australia did. They stayed in the game to give themselves a chance, which in the end they turned into victory. The second thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that this game really made me think about the idea that sometimes there are certain stages in life, there are certain opportunities in life, there are certain experiences in life where you have to step up, where you have to, be your best self to get a outsized outcome. And this was definitely one of those games. Obviously, World Cup semi-finals, World Cup finals are other instances of this. And, contextualizing this for the school, it might be the VC exam, the final year exam. It might be at your workplace that, the presentation for this big project you've been working towards for the past 2 years. But there are certain places in time and periods in time where you have to lock in. And I feel like Australia did that today, and India did that for periods of the day. But the more important thing is, I think when these opportunities and times come, the first thing you have to do is you have to recognize that, hey, this is the time where I have to stand up. And this is the time I have to be extra locked in. And, those times really basically separate the best from the good. And also, those great filters of the bad and like the just, shouldn't be here type. And I think that the Indians, many times in these sort of situations where you have to show up, they don't show up. Now, this could be because of a few reasons. I think the first thing is like being able to identify and be super present in these moments and recognize that, hey, this is where I'm at, this is the context, and hey, I'm not really going to get this opportunity for years to come again. How can you be in the right mindset and place of mind and general vibe and the environment, the culture? How can you make all of that surrounding environment to be in a place that allows you to basically show up that day? So that's like the first thing is identification, that hey, it's the day where you have to come out, you have to show up. And the second thing is creating the environment that allows you to go ahead and do that. And the reason I say this is because today, day 5, India, at the start of the day, I think there was about a 30 to 35% chance of India winning the game. And about, I would say, 50 to 55% chance of Australia winning the game, and about 10% chance of a draw. And the moment India came out to bat and came out to play the game, they didn't really try to win. They were optimizing for the draw outcome from the get-go. And what that really showed is this misalignment in mindset. The Australian team, the Aussies, one of their most fearless competitive traits is the fact that they always play for the win. They're okay to risk themselves a loss in order to go for gold, in order to win. But the Indians, they almost did the opposite today. So off the bat, that shows a lot in terms of the two mentality of the teams. And I think often in life, it is the same way. In the event that like you have to be willing to risk something to gain something. You have to be willing to go for the win, go for the gold, and risk the fact that things may not work out rather than just playing for the draw. Because I think majority of the people in life do end up playing for the draw. They do end up going to school, trying sort of their best, getting sort of good marks, going to uni, getting a sort of good job, getting, a sort of good house with a sort of good mortgage, and then, finding a sort of, compatible partner and having kids that are, sort of great. And this draw mentality is often that I see happens, is sort of done by the majority. And I think Australia in world cricket is one of the minorities, and I'd say England, in recent years have sort of done something similar. But my message to you and to myself in the future, if I ever watch this video, is one, recognize these moments. They don't have to be moments in time that are super short. They don't have to be a game, a day, a project. They could be longer. They could be the opportunity you have at I Can Study, the opportunity you have at Paddy Galloway. It could be seasons of over weeks or months where you have to show up. So firstly is identify those seasons. And then secondly is to sort of back yourself and get yourself mentally ready to go for the win and be okay with the loss. I think those two things are super important, because the third thing that sort of, it's a three-part equation. The first is identification of the moment. The second is the mindset, the right mindset to allow you to really shine in that moment. And the third one is pure ability, pure skill set. And the skill set component is something you develop over years and years and years. And for me, I'm okay if the skill set lets me down, because that just means, hey, I'm not good enough yet. And that is okay, because for me, I think long term, I think, I'm playing infinite games. So for me, it's okay. If today my skill set lets me down, I'm going to continue work on it. So, a day will come where my skill set will no longer be the bottleneck, and, I will succeed and show up. But in the event that I did have the skill set and I didn't show up, there's a problem there. And I think India does have the skill set to be able to execute, which is the sad thing. So make sure that you're able to identify the moment, you're able to have the right mindset and, mindset towards winning, and not be afraid. And then let your skill set do what it needs to do, and that is okay. Cool, I'm having a pink cordial. And today is okay, I'm gonna whisper. I've also lost my voice. Today is the last of my break at the end of the year. Sort of start get back into work tomorrow. So yeah, keen for the next year. Really excited to put this insight into action as well. Yeah, it's been awesome. We'll see if I can continue to post 5 videos a week on the channel.